Hello, welcome to Navigating to Success. I'm Jeff Carlton, certified focal point business and executive coach, and I'm very pleased to be joined by Heath VanEaton, the founder and CEO of WyoComp. A pretty interesting company, very interesting background through a myriad of different companies um, in the agriculture sector primarily. But I won't do it justice, so I'm going to let Heath welcome first. Nice to have you.
Thank you,
Um,
and good afternoon, Jeff. Thanks for the invite.
yes, yeah, you bet. So tell us about WyoComp. It's kind of an interesting, exciting company.
Okay, WyoComp was formed in 2009, and I formed it with the principal focus on really taking biomass that's from agricultural sources, like from farms, and converting it into useful industry applications, and principally used as like plastic or polymer fillers. And that it's expanded way beyond the use of just being used in plastics. And I'm talking about all types of plastics and all types of plastic products, but expanded into biochemicals. So we take wheat straw, corn stalks, always the byproduct, and convert it into other type of useful things that are used in industry. PXylene, phthalene, all sorts of chemicals, and some of those chemicals can be used to literally make plastics. And which is really cool because you don't need to take them from fossil derived sources. And again, like I said, um, using ag residue, it's being grown anyway for food, and we're utilizing some of it for very, very high value uses. Then I've also steered the technology development into converting things like wheat straw into biocarbon that could be used in as the carbon base used in lithium ion batteries, and pulp fiber for replacing paper and like fiber related products. So our technology portfolio is quite unique and wildly diverse, but it all centers in around agriculture and the use of agricultural biomasses for industry use.
That's that's absolutely fascinating. I mean, we could do an hour. We could do a series on that. That's
Yeah,
absolutely the sustainability proposition that's in there and the multi-use because most most of the times when a cornfield's been harvested, then somebody lights a match and they burn it.
in some
And
regions they do in fact do that.
yeah, and all of that material that actually has functional foundational uses gets repurposed into stuff that doesn't have to come from somewhere else. So it's incredibly interesting. So tell me how big you are. How big is WyoComp now?
Wow. We it's interesting because through some of my previous companies, the really the first one that kind of did stuff like this, it was kind of the root, was named Heartland Biocomposites. And I essentially went out, raised institutional level capital, developed all the technologies, went out and raised between debt and equity about $10 million, built a factory, hired a giant, enormous executive, team, did the whole 9 yards, had 50 to 60 employees working there, um, did very well with it. Then the recession came about in '07, '08, '09 range. Um, Things kind of got a little nasty with some of the investment groups that I was working with. So um, went and reorganized in 2009 and formed WyoComp. And at that time, I elected to keep WyoComp different. And rather than racing out and raising institutional capital again, getting business partners, equity groups, all that kind of stuff, I decided just to focus on research and working with universities and labs really worldwide, doing a lot of conferences, um, promoting technologies, assisting other factories and large companies with their technology development, And to be honest, I just focused on having fun and doing what I enjoy doing, and it's been very awesome. And so I started doing some third-party agreements, working with factories in the Midwest, Ohio, Illinois, using some of their factories, and I used one offshore, making materials, and started processing materials, filling orders, and that was kind of good, but it has a lot of their own unique challenges doing it that way. And then, of course, COVID came along and shut everything literally down everywhere. And some of my customers literally got put out of business. Some of them struggled getting going
Sure.
again. So what I started doing is I'm raising money again. And this time, and literally just before our podcast, got off the phone with an investment group I've been working with for the last few years. And this time, rather than being young, naive, give up the world to have some money and give up my company just to start another factory, I've taken a very aggressive approach. So only given up a small share for X number of dollars. So we've literally in the last 12 to 24 months been finishing an agreement with a group and to raise X dollars to build another facility. And this time, looking back to the Heartland days of 2000, 2005, when I did that, let's say that was generation one. Well, now my technology developments, we're up around generation 3 to 5 right now. And the type of materials
Well,
we can process and the things that we can make are much more unique, higher value, um, and arguably making a better impact in the marketplace and with the use of materials and displacing fossil related materials. So that's kind of where we're at and what I've been doing, the last 5, 10 plus years.
so um, give me a just so I can kind of get the picture in my mind. What percentage of the business is focused on technology development versus what percentage is actually in the manufacturing and literally a bottle of something coming out
Yeah.
as a finished product?
Right now, easily 80% is more on the technology side, working with companies, assisting companies, talking with companies wanting to license and adopt the use of our material technologies and process technologies. And then I would say 20% give or take is more on just like materials and actual operating and making stuff.
Right. And so where do you make stuff? Is it in Wyoming that you're making the stuff or
No, right now that's what we've been raising money to do, to lease and build another facility. So no, I'm having to use outside manufacturers for our materials processing. Some of them are still in the Chicago area, a little bit in the Ohio area, and it's just what a person has to do to fill the gap of like how to continue to run, make orders, make materials. Some of the more proprietary stuff, I won't go out and basically teach, a potential competitor down the road to do what we're going to do with our new facility. So you have to be real careful when you do that as well. Um,
sure?
so
Yeah.
yeah, so right now we're just doing what we need to do just to cash flow, um, stay
Yeah, it's like
relevant.
Coca-Cola is not going to give secret formula number seven to
Yeah.
yeah to somebody else. So no, I totally get that. So let's spend 30 seconds or so talking about the merits of outsourcing
Mhm.
um, in the
Yeah,
absence of capital to do something and how that affects then your internal margins. What
very much so.
is the upside to growing, if I can, yeah, I think that's probably the right way to phrase this, growing an organic capability to produce things in-house. What does it do to those margins for you, do you think?
For me, the priority was protecting the management, the direction, and the efficacy of the company itself as a whole. and keeping the company together the way that I feel it's best suited to serve the marketplace and to serve the best well-being of the environment, if you will. So margins to me have been secondary, just to preserve the company and to keep it propped up in a way that it's going to maximize the value it has, and to we're talking from a pre-money valuation side, and not only that, but just from a evaluation side of what it can do, minimizing the carbon footprint to from the point of our raw materials sourcing to the production of materials and to seeing in products made. So for me, margins have been just getting by, doing what we need to do. Like I said a little bit ago, just staying relevant to enough customers in the marketplace, just for us to achieve our ultimate goal. And that's really building what's going to be the the world's most premier process facility for converting agricultural materials into these high value industry usable materials, whether they're biochemicals, carbon for biocarbons for lithium ion battery technologies. We will stay in the biocomposites and the nanocomposite materials sector too. I have honestly some of the biggest companies in the world in the plastic sector coming to little old WyoComp asking for material solutions, materials to be processed, assistance in their own product engineers using them. And I'm talking about in auto products, auto parts,
Yeah.
consumer goods, you name it. So the margins, just to get the bigger pictures of how I see things. So just doing what we need to do just to get our end game and our ultimate strategy accomplished and executed.
Yeah, there's some goodness to just sticking to your ethos, paying the bills and making sure all the employees can pay their mortgages, as opposed to making a ton of money while
Yeah.
you're still in the business. And it sounds like you're kind of in a fairly mature growth stage, but you're about ready to really take a steep trajectory
Yeah.
very soon. So, and on that, how many core employees do you have um, working for you right now as opposed to outsourced at universities and stuff?
I maintain, and it depends on what's going on, 2 to 5 people is what I do. And it's really managing the admin side of things.
Sure.
Having an engineer available and working for me when we're designing either products, processes, assisting end users using our materials. So yeah, we're pretty small scale right now, but but if you expand it for all of our outsourced facilities, the number grows significantly.
Wow, very cool. You certainly had a roller coaster on the business journey, and COVID affected everybody. So upsizing, downsizing, coming back, reimagining, and adapting. One side question: has has AI impacted your process development much yet, or is that it? Yeah, I wouldn't think it was technical enough to get into the nuts and bolts of what you do.
No, it has not, and there's no doubt a lot of my customers use have adapted a lot of use of robotics in the manufacturing processes. AI hasn't been integrated into that yet, but it's on its way. But for what I'm doing, AI has not played any role at all yet, and we'll see what happens. If there's like some formulation or chemical like processes that we need to calculate or resolve, I could see adapting it for things like that.
Right.
And and I see that it being probably the arguably the most valuable niche for things like that is solving pharmaceutical questions and making drugs work better, faster, easier, just try to outthink people. But for since I'm really rooted in like tangible physical materials, and especially plant matter related, um, we just haven't had that need yet.
Okay. Yeah, no, fair enough. And if it's not your wheelhouse, find somebody who it does
Yeah.
work for them. Find, Elon Musk, hire people that are smarter than you and put them to work and stay out of their way, right? So let's talk about strategic plan.
Yeah.
Let's talk about where you see WyoComp in 12 to 36 months.
Well, we will be in the next 6 to 8 months. We'll be getting a new plant up and running. Early 2025, we'll be um, hiring on a lot more staff, and that'll be mostly production related because we're in a situation right now. Sales and sales demand is the least of our worries. We we have like so many markets and material orders lined up. It's silly actually, and then for sure within then the next I would say um, 36 months probably grow to the 5 to 10 million range. And our 5 year plan would definitely be exceeding 30 million a year. And we've got plans to do some licensing in Europe. We've been working with different governmental officials or things stabilize, even to assist the ag sector in Ukraine. We've got interest parties in Africa, Asia. So there's a lot of like licensing partners wanting to come on. So we are going to be positioned to grow very rapidly. And I've always told everyone I'm not like I'm not like too naive about this at all, but really WyoCom and the idea of it and what it represents and does is really bigger than me as a whole. And so over time, a lot of this is all going to be getting turned over to competent people that are capable of running with it and taking it to the next couple levels where it really should be. And so I see a lot of these technology profit centers all steering different directions and different types of facilities getting built that are specific for each technology that the portfolio consists of.
Wow. All right. So, and on the hiring front, what disciplines do you
Mhm.
think you're going to be looking for in 6 to 8 months?
Um, what I've always looked for um, are people that are genuine and people that are they're willing to work hard and adopt the culture that really this exciting company um, is built around. People that care about wanting to help the environment, people that care about others, people that care about the customer, and that really want to adopt the company as their own. Because once people take ownership of something, that gives them the room to grow and to really help establish themselves and their ability to influence a company to make it better. So I really look for people that are genuine. They got good energy levels. They have no shortcomings of commitment, and that really want to partake in a very exciting business that every day I just can't wait to get up and answer phone calls and emails and talk to people. And like I said, I mean, I my challenge is just managing like product demand and technology demand because we have so many companies and customers and consumers, contractors contacting us every day asking for something and who couldn't get excited about working at a place where you have something very that's like a problem solver at the same time, but it's also like a sustainable material solution for industry. So that's a cool thing.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a good problem to solve. If you got that many people beating on the door, that's fantastic. All right, we'll wrap this up with one final question. Piece of advice to somebody that's wants to start their own company or is just in the early stages of forming a company. What's one thing you would tell them?
Take your time. Um, don't rush into anything. Don't undervalue yourself and what your value proposition is, whether it's a, you're a programmer, you're into biotech, you're into anything, but don't undersell yourself ever, because those are honestly the mistakes I made. I've had some great companies, and unfortunately, I was too naive and too willing to go out and give up too much, and usually always a majority for, in retrospect, just really a marginal amount of capital. So don't undervalue yourself, and just make sure that you go in ready. And in my position, the last 5 years, when I've talked with people and investors, I've said no to a lot of people, a lot of VC firms, a lot of angels, and it takes strength and confidence to do that, and patience. Heck, I'd wait another couple of years just to do it right, because I know what I'm doing. I'm getting by. What I'm doing is working. And so I would definitely advise anybody out there getting ready to start a company, wanting to raise money, wanting to do something, just have your business plan prepared very well, your performance, your value proposition, your marketing plan. Know your business well, but at the same time, don't go out and sell yourself for nothing.
No, fantastic advice. I really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Um, Well, Heath, thanks so much for joining me and for everybody that watched this episode. This was a heck of a business journey explored, no doubt. And I'm going to keep my eye on WyoComp and see where it goes because it sounds like it's going to have little old Wyoming, which is actually quite big, is going to have some
Yeah, thank
global
you.
impact here. So,
Yeah, thank
uh,
you. It's WyoComp.
how do people find you? Is it what's your website?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to overstep. Yep, it's
No.
wyocomp.com. WYOCOMP.com. And it's our website. There's a contact us page. We have an office. I've got some secretaries that can answer questions for anyone. If you want to reach out to us, if you want to learn about us, you can stop by and meet us. Um, we're busy, but we're always excited to talk about the company and what we do and what we offer.
Yeah, check these guys out, look them up on LinkedIn, and keep your eye out for what happens in early 2025 because it sounds like it's pretty exciting and it's going to break loose
Yeah.
for you. So, thank you again, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time on Navigating to Success.